Hello everybody. Today we're going to go over solar panels, and in particular portable solar panels for your overland rig or for your vehicle that you'd like to possibly charge a secondary battery with, or even keep the primary battery topped off with when you're sitting at camp. So first off, we're going to go over 5 different variations of solar panels. The first one that everybody's familiar with is the solid glass in the front monocrystalline panel. So this one you typically see on a house or in a static application. The technology, like I said, is monocrystalline cell with bus bar in the middle to be able to collect off the current from the cells and then transport that current off and down into your solar controller. So this has an aluminum frame mounted with a glass on front to protect it, and then you can, like I said, this is more used for a static application. I don't know if I'd recommend this for a mobile application, just for the pure weight penalty and also for its durability and vibrations. The next panel up is some of the same technologies, monocrystalline, but in a little bit higher efficiency format. This is a SunPower cell. It does have a busbar technology, but the busbar is hidden behind the solar cell. It's in a semi-flexible format, so this can, the manufacturer claims it can curve up to 30 degrees. This is a 100-watt panel. So both the glass one and this one are both rated at 100 watts. The next panel is a pretty neat form factor here. So this panel folds up nice. It's a trifold panel. Open it up. Before I do that, you can see that there are integrated legs here on the panel that fold out. And once the panel's open, you can put it out so it's facing the sun in an optimal angle during the day. It folds out, like I said, in a trifold configuration. So there's one set of 9 cells here, another set of 9 cells here, and another set of 9 cells here. They are sewn into this little carrying case, and with the legs integrated in. And then in between each one of the cells, so this panel here and this panel here, this panel here, there are wires that connect each one of those cells together. These cells are also, I don't know if you can see from the video here, but they're busbar technology. These are solar world cells, say that 5 times fast. And they claim that they have a pretty high efficiency, I think somewhere upwards around 19–20%. I like these just from a form factor standpoint. The next one up that we have is a nice portable panel. It has 9 individual panels here with 4 cells per panel. Each one of these panels are connected together with a soldered wire also, and they are the same type of technology, so solar technology, as the flexible panel there. So they're SunPower cells. Pretty neat panels, lightweight. This one's rated at 120 watts. And then lastly, we have a 160-watt panel that's also in a trifold, but a very different design from the rest of the panels. This panel opens up in a trifold like this. The manufacturer does have a stand that's integrated into it. Each one of these panels, though, is not connected together with a soldered wire. Embedded in between this plastic here, the manufacturer has integrated looks like about a 2.5-inch solid piece of copper that will connect each one of these panels together. The manufacturer claims it's made by Merlin Solar. They claim that they can cycle this 14,000 times before that copper will break. This panel also has a very distinctive grid pattern compared to the rest of the panels. I counted them up here, and I counted over 100 different connections here, all going to the same output here. And then I asked the manufacturer how many different connections they had, and they said per cell there's over 1,000 connections that are redundant. So if you lose some of the connections, it still will collect off that cell. Pretty neat little panel here, and this one's rated at it's the biggest of all of them as far as capacity at 160 watts. So what we're going to do now is we built a test jig, and hopefully you can see it back here. We're going to place a panel up on top. We're going to go take it out in the sun, and we're going to go through all of these panels and measure the efficiency of, or the output, not even the efficiency, the output of each panel. With how we're going to do that, we're going to take this little integrated Bluetooth monitoring system here, and we're going to measure the power directly out of the panel. And then that power is going to feed into a DC to DC converter, or in other words, an MPPT controller. And then that will feed into a battery bank. Now that battery bank is not full. What we've done is we put a constant load on the battery bank so that the solar panel will perform at its optimum condition. So like I said, the power flow will be from the panel into our Bluetooth monitor, into the DC or the MPPT controller, into the batteries, and like I said, we'll have a constant load on there. So we're going to go outside. We have some really good sun right now in Ohio, and we're going to face the panels all up there, and we're going to test them 3 times, each individually, and measure the average of those 3 results, and hopefully we can see which panel is performing to what the manufacturer. All right, we're going to go do the back of the shop and go over the test rig setup here. It's a nice sunny day in Ohio. We're going to put the panels up at an angle as perpendicular as possible to the sun. Down below on the rig, we have the dual lithium batteries with the MPPT controller and the 2 LED light bars for a load on the battery bank. The first panel that we have up is the glass panel. It is rated at 100 watts. It's probably the most prolific panel in the US, maybe in the world. So this panel performed, producing a little over 1% over its stated rating of 101.1 watts, which is really good for a panel. The next panel that we have up is the flexible panel, or semi-flexible panel. It's the SunPower cells. It is also rated at 100 watts, and it performed at 99% of its stated rating at 98.53 total watts, which is also very good for that panel. The next panel we have up is a Flexo Power panel. It was rated at 105 watts, and it produced much lower than its stated rating. Its stated rating was, like I said, 105, and it produced 75.63 watts, or only 72% of its rating. The next panel is the Overland solar panel, also SunPower cells. The Overland solar panel was rated at 120 watts, and it performed lower than its expected rating at 94% and 113.37 watts total. And the next panel, and the last panel, is a Merlin solar panel. This panel is rated at 160 watts. It's the largest rating of the panel, and it performed much higher than its stated rating at 176.15 watts, or 110% of its stated or rated rating. So here's to round out the panels as far as rating. The Merlin solar panel performed the best at 110%. The glass panel was 101%. The flexible panel was 99%, and then the bottom 2 were the actual dedicated portable panels at 90. The Overland solar panel at 94%, of its stated rating in the Flexo Power panel at 72%. Okay, everybody, we're back from the back of the shop there, and as you can see through the results that I showed on the video a little bit earlier, some of the panels performed very well and some panels did not perform very well. The Merlin panel behind me performed the best. It was 10% over its rating, and then down from there the glass panel was next. The flexible solar panel was a little bit lower than that. The Overland solar panel was down the line from there, and then the last panel was a Flexo Power panel. Now, being an engineer that I am, I want to find out why. Why did these two panels perform much, much worse than these other two panels? So what we're going to do is we're going to send these panels out. The two Flexo panel, or the Flexo Power panel, the Overland solar panel, and we'll actually send out the flexible panel here and the Merlin panel to an accredited lab, and we'll have them do some testing on to see why these panels performed lower than normal. So this testing will come about back in a few weeks, and we'll let you know from there.